let's move on to the next speaker. Udaya Indaratna. Udaya Indaratna is a well-known icon in enhancing Sri Lanka's brand image all around the world. He is a chartered marketeer at Chartered Institute of Marketing in UK. He holds a PhD in Applied Management and Decision Sciences. He acquired his MBA in Finance and MA in Marketing from well-known universities in UK. Mr. Udaya Indaratna is a CEO, coach, a co-author and also a lecturer with his 25 years of experience in senior management positions in the United Arab Emirates. He was a senior advisor to the Chairman's Office at Tourism and Culture Authority in Abu Dhabi. Currently, he is providing his service as a CEO in SoftLogic Holding PLC, which is one of the Sri Lanka's most dynamic firms.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello. First of all, I must say this is the first time I've ever in Sri Lanka doing such a presentation. Thanks to Vice Chancellor Mr. J.J. Ranasinghe. I left Sri Lanka when I was 19 years old. I just got back a few months ago. And when Vice Chancellor invited me, I was very happy to come and share some of my thoughts. I was contemplating what to do and what to present. My colleague Rochelle and my colleague Lasantha, we sat down and developed a presentation from zero base. And what I thought is that, first of all, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and Dean, and also my panelists and everybody who's here. Well, I think Professor Karuananda touched upon a very good topic, which is the literacy of the entrepreneurship. In my short time in Asia and in Sri Lanka, I find strategic planning is quite weak in this part of the world. And that's, I thought perhaps I will, considering the audience, that I will teach a model that could be used by everybody, not just for academics, that can be applied in life, in your business, and for everything for that matter. My background, I'm a strategist. I do economic models and I do roadmap strategy plans, so I thought it's best that I use my background and teach something that we can take away. Mr. Chairman, I was under the impression that I can have half an hour, so it may be a little bit a challenge for me to do in 20 minutes, but let's try. Well, as Professor Potter says, the study is about making choices and trade-off. It's obviously deliberately to be different. That's what Michael Potter is saying. So, the strategy at the moment, the problem is the people perceived as a very difficult area. The perception is the problem in Asia. And that's why I thought I developed a very simple model that we all can apply. What is the meaning of corporate strategy? It is the sense and purpose of the organization. That's it. The essence of corporate strategy is its purpose, its ambitions, its resources, and how it interacts with the world in which it operates. That's the meaning of corporate strategy. Strategic planning, therefore, is the process of defining strategy and direction and how making decisions and allocating resources to pursue its journey is a strategic planning element. Since these are so much jargon, people try to be away from this topic called strategic planning. But it actually is very simple. Why corporate strategy is significant? It sets objectives for the organization. It allocates company resources, it establishes expectations, it improves competitive position, and it adds our value, and beyond all that, cohesively it creates all the staff and everybody together and go work towards one direction. Well, look at the biggest consultancy companies in the world. In billion, that's what they earn per year. Deloitte 38 billion, PwC 37, Accenture 34 billion. Because a lot of such companies who earn so much money, they are heavily focused on strategic planning and corporate strategy. So, as the two professors says, that we are very weak in strategic planning, and that's one reason that we can't progress. I developed a model simplifying into 5 steps what a strategy plan should be. And considering a lot of management students, I thought it's best that I kind of give something to the students that they can learn how best to develop a strategy plan. The very first step of a strategy plan is the analysis of the environment, which means the market, competitors and customers. Can you go back to the model? The first is obviously how to analyze the environment. It has 3 elements: the market, the competitors and the customers. The second is the analysis of the resources, which is the human resources, final resources, operational resources. That's what we call MRI. So the very first thing we need to do is to analyze these 6 areas to understand where we are now. The third stage is the purpose of the organization, that's setting objectives and all direction for the organization. The fourth step is developing the strategy, how you develop resource-based options, market-based options, and finding the strategic route forward. The fifth is obviously how you develop the strategy, evaluate it, and make the strategy change. But this is a model which is a bit complex. So what I thought is I develop other model that where all the students can easily follow and develop a strategy plan. Right. Well, let's focus on how best I propose how to develop a strategy plan. So as we said, there are six elements here. One is the situation analysis. Second is corporate objectives. The strategic option is number 3. Strategic selection is number 4. The strategic initiatives is number 5. And evaluation control is the last. So that is the cycle of strategic planning. And I elaborate further. And then what we call where are we now? In any journey, any plan, the very first thing we need to do is to evaluate where are we now. And little later you will identify that I have put all the academics model that I think is necessary on such a MRI. So in analyzing where are we now, as I said in my first model, we need to analyze the environment and we need to analyze the resources. So these are the areas that you need to minimum examine before we start our planning. Then you move second, where do you want to be? You will be checking your mission, vision, the broad aims and goals, and corporate objectives, as well as marketing objectives. That is where you want to go. The third is what options are available. So you first say where you are now. The second is where do you want to go. The third is what options are available. Now, next few slides we'll examine the techniques and the models that I suggest we follow in ensuring that we have a cohesive plan, structured way of targeting how to develop a plan. Then the fourth is what are the best options available. You had options we thought about. These are the options that you thought is best. The fifth is the how to get there. That's a strategy. That's what you call strategic planning. The sixth is how you ensure arrival, which means evaluation and control. How will you make sure that your plan has worked? Now, this again a framework. Now, I like to examine with all of you how to develop that in a bit of detail with a bit of academics. Right. So, the first thing, there are many. In a situation analysis, I suggest at least we do 9 of such technical analysis: a SWOT, a ratio analysis, a value chain, a BCG matrix, a strategy group analysis, product life cycle, perception map, market share, and critical success factor analysis are some of the models I suggest we apply in MRI, which is situation analysis. Let's examine. So, what happened in any plan, any strategy, everyone knows a SWOT is one of the key model. But the problem is that this very generic application of SWOT doesn't give you a result. What I have done is the strength and weakness, which is an internal factor. If you use a model, McKinsey 7S model, that will give you much more structured way of getting your internal factor evaluation, which is the structure, system, style, staffs, and strategy and share values. And as external factor, if you do Pesley and Porter 5 process, that give you a proper SWOT. So the change here is from a SWOT, a generic SWOT. If you do a SWOT much structure in this manner, there's nothing you will not miss. That's the idea. Right? Clear? So the very first thing is to get to do a very good SWOT in any plan as a start. The second is obviously the ratio analysis. In a company, you need to analyze your profitability, leverages, activity ratios, liquidity, all that need to be also analyzed. Because we are saying at the moment saying where are we now? We need to check all that areas for us to make plans. The third is the value chain, most important. We need to understand how primary activity and supporting activity in the organization interact. If your primary activity, for example, could be sales and marketing, doesn't be supported by HR and finance for that matter, that means value chain is not working. It's like body, it doesn't function. So we need to find all these gaps using the value chain model. The BCG matrix, similarly, the market growth is relative market share, has to be studied as well. I'll speed up due to time factor. Then the strategy group analysis is very important as well, because you are in a certain strategy group that you need to analyze who are your competitors and what products and what gaps and all that in that strategy group. Then the product life cycle as well. We need to examine at certain product at what life cycle stage are they? Are they in a growth stage, introduction stage, maturity, or decline? These all need to be examined to develop a very good corporate strategy or strategic plan. Then the perception map is also very important. That is a technique that you need to have to see your products, what, as far as customers are concerned, what perception map are they and which area you're targeted to be pursued in the future. Obviously the market share, that's also need to be analyzed per product and see what market share you are holding and what target market share you decide to have. Well, that's some of the techniques that on a situation analysis we should use. The second step is where do you want to go? Obviously, the first thing we need to do is the vision and mission statement. This is one of the vision statement of a company. I just show as an illustration. The very first thing we need to do, so once we finish the situation analysis, is to develop where do you want to go. The very first thing in that is how to formulate a generic strategy. What Professor Michael Porter said is that without a generic strategy, a company is stuck in the middle. We need to determine how we're going to compete in the marketplace, which is cost focus, cost leadership, or differentiation. Now, the lot of problem in a lot of companies is they don't get the generic strategy right, and they do all kind of things, and then they are stuck in the middle. They can't compete. That is the core on any strategic planning. What you want to do, even yourself, you need to want to know you want to be different, or cost leader, or cost focus. The second thing you need to do is to set corporate objectives for your company, short term, medium, long term. What you want to do, and as leaders, they set that objectives, short term, medium, long term. So the clear cut where we want to go. The third is, if that's the way you want to go, what are the options available for the company, organization, or for you for that matter? Now, what happens is there are resource-based options that you have, and some are market-based options, and some are based on scenario planning. So, based on these three scenarios, you find certain options available for you to take forward. Yeah? Some of the techniques that we use is the G matrix on options selection, where you basically look at your business strength versus industry attractiveness and see where your product and at which area it belongs to. So you can decide which item or which product will be at a invest, grow, or hold, selective, etc. So G matrix is very important in selecting strategy. Then everybody knows about the answer matrix as well, which is developing new market, penetrating existing market, developing new products, and diversification. These four need to be also examined before you decide what you want to do with your products. The fourth step is called mixing strategy. So you now know where you now. Second, where do you want to go? Third, you know what are the options available. Fourth is how can you ensure, what are the options that you selected. Now here in this case, what we do is called strategy selection. We call EFA, which is internal factor evaluation and external factor evaluation. You mix it. What you do, you get your strength and opportunities and you combine it. What happens in a lot of countries is they focus on the weaknesses and the threat, and they dwell on it, and that's one of the very big problems in many countries and many companies. So once you get your strength and opportunity combined, that's basically your opportunity. Yes, of course, you need to treat your threat and weaknesses, but we need to really focus on the strength and opportunities. Well, then comes step 5, which is the implementation and strategic initiatives. So what we do is then the resource allocation and business plan. So what you do, now you select the options, you put that into your business plan. Business plan means all the initiatives, who is going to do, the budget allocated budgets, and the time frame, all that part of the business plan that you support the plan. Then the structure, managing strategy change, the corporate strategy, and balance scorecard are all part of that implementation. Then what you're supposed to do in recommendation is to develop a balanced scorecard map that clearly show that your strategic plan, how you focus on, as you can see from cause effect theory, and focusing on your financial, customer, operations, and people. So all that what we put into a paper need to put in a balanced scorecard, and then you can clearly see a map that portrays where you want to head. Well, some of the strategic plans you could see is what a lot of companies and countries are doing. That's give you quite a bit of an emphasis on the importance of having such plans. The last one, step 6, is evaluation and control. So now we have developed a plan, we have to make sure that happens, right? So we need to review periodically and make sure that all the set objectives are achieved and all the business plan that you set to do things are taken care and everybody is doing action. Now, please go next. One of the best method is to go to your balance scorecard and make sure your financial objectives, your internal business process, learning and growth, and customer, the objectives and measures that you put in place and the targets are achieved. And then you report to the top management of the board and then take corrective action where necessary. Yeah? Then the last one is the most important, we call it static staircase theory. So what happened in a company or an organization where you want to reach a certain level in 5 years or 10 years, you cannot achieve that in a year. So all these initiatives you plan, a study plan, you put it to a static staircase this way. And you put all the initiatives you're planning here, and then you put all your achievement here, so you will kind of target the corporate objectives that you target in short term, medium, long term. And that's the journey that we need to go. So as I explained to you, all of you, the study plan is quite simple, but it's understood as very difficult and a lot of jargon, but in fact it's simple. So first step is where are you now? The second step is where do you want to go? Third step is what are the options available? Fourth option is what are the best options for us? And 5 is how can you ensure arrival? And then the last one is how can you make sure really we reach there? Also, when I teach, I also explain sometimes before where are we now, how did you arrive here as well to consider, so that give you very much insight into how we arrived here at first place. So that kind of mindset will give us very good plan that we can develop and work with people. And there's a lot of cohesiveness as well as a lot of power within the organization. Well, as I said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I strongly recommend to this audience, get used to study planning. Planning without plan is really a very challenging thing for anyone in your life, in your children or in your organization. The study planning is the thriving impact of companies and people's life, I think. So, thank you. I went quite fast, but...
Thank you very much, Mr. Indraratna. I think it's a very important corporate plan for any institution, either business, commercial, or educational.
Thank you, Professor.
And I think you have covered the whole thing. The structure of a corporate plan, I think.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. We just developed last week with these 2 of us, 3 of us.
Shall we, and thank you very much for giving the time. Any questions, please? Yeah, Mike, can you have Mike?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Uday. My name is Jamendra Chidil. I am from the management department, and my question is actually in corporate strategies and strategic management. We basically talk about diversification. It may be either related or unrelated. As a person from the industry, what's your opinion? What strategy seems to be the kind of proactive and a strategy that makes sustainable competitive advantage? Either related or unrelated, and what are the factors that we have to think of as the board of management when we are deciding related or unrelated? Thank you.
Well, you see, the problem is we need to develop a culture of study planning as part of organizational culture. What has happened in a lot of companies is they run behind profits, they're not putting a system in place, and they're not getting all the staff and the managers involved in developing the roadmap. So what happens is then no one is responsible, and then people asking why there's no profit and why they're not achieving. But none of them have any attachment. So what we do in our strategic planning is we cascade to the last staff. And even a country plan, when we did, we try to cascade and we share all our thoughts to even to the most junior staff members. So in Sri Lanka or in Asia, I think there's a culture problem. The top managers are trying to develop a plan and they say do it. So I'm advocating for a strategic plan mechanism where all of us involved and then and get used to that particular culture. And trust me, I was in Dubai, I was chief strategist for 11 years. We took so much Emirates, Etihad, all these companies to this level. Sheer planning, nothing more than that. So the experience, I'm kind of promoting that culture in Sri Lanka for us to take this best practices and take our country to progress. As the professor said, we don't have a very good entrepreneurial culture in this country, so we need to have also planning culture. If I answer that question.
We are waiting for further questions.
Yes, doctor.
I have a question. This is not only on organizations, but as a country. We have mega infrastructure development, but we don't have any strategic plan how to make it profitable or how to get the return. So why do you think that we lose our infrastructure, our projects, and we reach our objective at the end of the
See, what happened in a country, you first have something called white paper. White paper is something to do with leadership thinking of a country. Then the white paper becomes a strategic plan. So as I said, so when you don't have the white paper and a strategic plan, so everything is so weak and people do ad hoc things. So I advocate even to the government, develop an economic model and that cascade to all the sectors. They all have a strategic plan and white papers and necessary resources are allocated and timeline and all the plans, etc. So that is the change that I will kind of promote in this country. So everyone is aware and there's a roadmap and there's a short-term, medium-term objectives. Balance scorecard is attached to, strategy staircase is attached to. So they're all evaluated on performance and KPIs. And until we do that, we'll be going in circles and without achieving anything. And with the blame culture to everyone. So what I'm all trying to say is the strategic plan culture is the best at any country or any organization to get it right and then move forward. So that's it. Again, my thanks to Admiral Singh for inviting me, and I'm at your service. I'll be traveling here and there, but whenever you have any other questions, if I can be helpful, I'm more than glad to do it. I really want to help Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to call upon Dr. Namali Sisona, Dean Faculty of Management, Social Sciences and Humanities, to make an introduction to the chair of the session, Professor Sarath Amunukam.
You want? Can you present?
Yeah, that's
Right,
fine.
okay, okay.
Now I'd like to call upon Admiral J. Jirana Singh, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kodara Defence University, to present the tokens of appreciation to the rest of the speakers and the chair. For that, I cordially invite Dr. H.D. Karunaratne. Kure. Dr. Udaya Induratna. And finally, may I have the honor of inviting Professor Sarat Amulgama.
Sorry, Pops, I would love to hear you, but the perspectives. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Introduction of the chair for the session, Professor Sarat Amulgama.
Give the introduction to yourself and thank you for accepting the invitation and be the chair of the session. Professor Sarat Amulgama received his secondary education at Kingswood College, Kandy, and he has entered the University of Ceylon for his first degree, and then he has attended the University of Sorbonne to obtain his master's in linguistic studies and his PhD from the same university. So during his teaching career, he has served several positions as Dean Faculty of Humanities in the University of Columbia, and then he has been appointed as the Vice Chancellor of the newly established. So he was the founder Vice Chancellor of University of Visual and Performing Arts in 2005. And in 2008, he was appointed as the Vice Chancellor of University of Columbia. So he has enough experiences as Vice Chancellor of two universities. And he has been awarded with the knighthood by the government of France for the work he has been done in development of languages, in French especially. And Professor Amulgama is an eminent Sri Lankan scholar with many publications in international conferences and books in languages and linguistics. So he has done plenty of work in development of French languages, development in Sri Lanka. So we would like to cordially invite for your presentations.
Thank you very much. I wondered whether you heard when Radical Francina mentioned that you'd like to stay to listen to mine, and I said better not to move. Because I have a reason. I'm going to tell you first the reason with the with an apology to everyone here. Because I have no presentation and I have no speech that I prepared, because it is something that I have sent for publication. My editor, not my usual editor, but editor in the city of Lille in France 3 months ago. I made the request, I reminded several times to give me permission to make my presentation today here of that article, of that research article. They promised to send it, but still I haven't got. So I want to be honest, and I have signed the agreement with them, which means without their permission, until they publish, I cannot make a public presentation. So I have nothing. But anyway, I do not want to leave you just like this. And you may have noticed that I was watching my smartphone screen, email to see whether I'm still getting something. I did not get it, really. I'm very sad about that, and I do apologize from all of you. Please bear with me. But however, I did this morning, with the notes I had prepared something which I thought I might present here. And I see that among all those managers and planners and marketeers, I'm nowhere in that. Right? So I will read what I have written, but in fact, I realized, I understood the theme of the conference is securing professional excellence through collaboration. Yes. But the topic on the top, collaboration for professional excellence in management, social sciences, and humanities. But I dare to change that. Because what I say here is how humanities and social sciences can ensure the professional excellence in other fields. Because anyway, I wanted to defend my field of studies. But it's not very far away from the main theme, but still, it will be something different. I'm going to read and then try to explain if I feel that you don't understand certain things. My first attempt or attention was on the term collaboration. Remember, I'm a linguist. The term which brings sense to the main theme of this conference organized by the KDU. The term collaboration is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary as follows. Collaboration means action of working with someone to produce something. There is another definition by the dictionary Cambridge, which says the situation of two or more people working together to create or achieve the same thing. So for one, collaboration means an action, because it says action of working. So it is an action. So a movement. Action implies a movement. For the other, collaboration is a situation. Action versus situation. Or a state of things. So virtually static. Whether movement or static, both play the role of agent to produce an outcome. We are talking about outcomes. or they both are expected to play the role of agent to produce an outcome. What is the outcome to be produced? Expected outcome is to secure excellence, secure professional excellence. And to secure excellence, why? To secure excellence, you should have already reached, when you say secure, though we use in our common conversation, common language, with many meanings, but when you say secure, it is already there. But you have to secure its existence, its maintenance. So expected outcome is to secure excellence. To secure excellence, you should have already reached that state of excellence. Right? Otherwise, there is nothing to secure. So into this composition, I brought in the term, which is not here, but which is in my abstract, the multidisciplinarity. Somehow I have to connect that with this. So I brought in the multidisciplinarity. I propose to define also the term multidisciplinarity because conceptually I'm going to connect it with the earlier set of terms. So collaboration, excellence, excellence in professionalism, and multidisciplinarity. The Oxford Dictionary, again, for linguistics, the Bible almost, defines this term as follows. Multidisciplinarity. Combining or involving several academic disciplines or professional specializations in an approach to a topic or a problem. The Cambridge Dictionary defines it, that is multidisciplinarity, as involving different subjects of study in one activity. When you say multidisciplinarity, I make the difference between interdisciplinarity, intradisciplinarity, and pluridisciplinarity, and so forth. There are so many terms based on that. I'm talking of multidisciplinarity. By assuming an operative definition of the two terms, I can semiotically, that's a linguistic term, semiotically consider that the term collaboration has a wider and a broader field of significance, or in other words, what we call a generic significance. Whereas the term multidisciplinary or multidisciplinarity has a narrower but specific significance which is embedded in the general significance of the former term. So you have the collaboration, which is a wider, giving a wider significance, and within which you have the multidisciplinarity, which is very specific, and there may be other elements as well. But when we say for operative matters, that is, I give it a form and I give it a sense, but which is coherent for the purpose of my own interpretation. That is what we do when we have to do research. At present, we find more and more discussions, arguments, discourses of concern, and statements pertaining to multidisciplinarity. All those talks and arguments are focusing and emphasizing rightly on a requirement more for its use than for its decoration. It is very relevant in different situations. In the professional sector, especially related to societal works in many places in the globe, across the world, and among communities, there is a prescriptive description or discourse, a prescriptive discourse on the merits and relevance of multidisciplinarity, especially since it is now, in certain contexts, preserved in some legislative texts as well. For the most part, affirm the importance of multidisciplinarity work. Let me precise further. Multidisciplinarity is a concept, especially in social work, as I mentioned, which promotes exchange between different professionals within the same service. It aims at the cooperation between several professional categories in analyzing the users of the client's profile and in providing individualized services. Where I joined this marketing and commercial and all that. Employers expect now new skills from their employees with multidisciplinary knowledge at any level of recruitment. We are talking about certain knowledge, teaching, and so forth, literacy. I repeat, employers expect now new skills from the employees with multidisciplinary knowledge at any level of recruitment, from the laborers up to the decision makers. Since they want them to work productively and collaboratively in teams. I think I'm joining some of the marketing theories there. Structuring in teams anticipates such changes. In addition, thanks to the team functioning, the organization can rely on a basic unit rather than on individuals, and therefore be less dependent on the hazards of its employees, like suddenly they go on sick leave or they resign and so forth. It is a generally accepted fact that such teamwork is considered to favor the participation and creative of individuals. Do not misunderstand here, I'm not talking about this teamwork as it's been mentioned by certain theories of management, like a cogwheel, right? So each one working in a team, for example, 5 persons with different skills working in an office which is relevant to the final work doing, each one, which turns like a cogwheel. I'm not talking about that. Because if one cog is damaged, it doesn't turn. So, multidisciplinarity of each of the members is the most important thing. At this juncture, let me now discuss where this multidisciplinarity has been taken into consideration very seriously, I would say, in Europe in general, but in France particularly, between different disciplines of knowledge. And that is required especially at the level of forming the professionals or training the professionals. That's where we see the growing importance of elements pertaining to humanities and social sciences in this framework. For example, I'll give you only one example. In the engineering education, in some countries underwent significant reforms during the last couple of decades. Such institutions decided to tie up with other institutions of different specialties or with different disciplines to solve numerous problems they had to face as providers of professional training. For example, industrial engineering institutions raise several issues such as how to empower and motivate team members to meet deadlines in a project. In planning, how to arbitrate between lower cost and high product performance, taking into account both demand and competition. How to choose one technology over other when input prices are highly volatile, etc., etc. My solutions are not in the management system. Multiple issues of this nature highlight the importance of inputs from economists in providing solution to these questions. Another part of this issue, another example of this issue is actually demonstrated by the École des Mines de Paris, which is a professional schools in engineering. And in a statement, it said that the academic syndicate of the institution, which is like our senates, decided to introduce sociology as part of the main program meant for industrial engineering. The aim of this decision has been to give students a solid knowledge on, for example, how social organizations work or how their members behave. This will enable them as engineers to develop their capacity in diagnosis and intervention in engineering matters. Their capacity to run organizational projects which are integral part of their mission as engineers. Now, in fact, take the example of, I was thinking while I was reading this, I was thinking of the situation of our medical studies. The medical studies in our medical faculties, we have a medical faculty. In the past, few decades ago, or few years ago, the curriculum was full of medical matters, maladies and treatments and so forth, whatnot. For 5 years, they were studying on that. And it happened so, we know very well, that once they are appointed doctors, they got to go to the rural areas often. And they are appointed as medical officers of particular hospitals. So medical officer of a particular hospital is the leader of that hospital. He knows everything about medicine. But can he run the hospital? He has to know management. Human resources management. He is responsible for everyone. He has to do financial management. And many other capabilities, many other abilities are required for a doctor to run the university. And I can tell you, with a lot of difficulties, we managed in some of the faculties to introduce these courses while they were students. They don't see the importance at that level of training, but definitely it's going to be very useful. Even if a doctor goes to a rural area while working in the hospital as a medical officer, he will run his own clinic also somewhere else, or the private practice. But even to do that, he needs to know that. And I think we heard very much about the importance of literacy in various sectors. So otherwise, all what the doctor earns, he loses some percentage every month, every year. That's very important. And many areas, it is the same. So this is where I do say the multidisciplinarity is important. I'm a little bit critical, whereas the requirements can reflect something else, but we know, with all respect that I have for the state sector higher education, we produce many specialists, right? We have lot of BAs, BScs, special in X field, Y field, Z field. Can I tell you another experience I had? Dean mentioned that I was the founding vice chancellor for the Visual and Performing Arts University in Colombo. I was there, yes, and I had to turn an entire institution into a university, which is not easy, without sacking anyone, because otherwise it won't be a problem, and without, putting them in proper places and so forth. Especially visual and performing arts is not an easy place. And my wife used to call every day don't asking, how are you? Are you okay? I said, after that, don't talk to me. And new syllabuses were being developed. At that time, this is not the first time I'm telling you this. At various levels, even the first citizen of the country also, I have mentioned that at one point in time. I received a call from a head of the school, headmaster of a rural school. He said, it's better in Sinhala, but there are people who do not understand Sinhala. So he said, they get what you call these cadres to fill the teachers of different fields of study. So he has given a cadre for a teacher in Soundarya teacher, that is aesthetics, to teach aesthetic subjects. I got a cadre, and he has recruited a graduate passed out from, mind you, University of Caledonia, because at that time Aesthetic Institute was under University of Caledonia. Degree awarding institution was University of Caledonia. I come from the University of Caledonia, though I was there. Sir, Mama Caledonia Vishwavidyalaya Padharaniya Pat Karagatta. Undare Vishyan Sada. I appointed a teacher from the University of Caledonia, graduate, for my aesthetic work in the school. I think it's a small school, not a big one. I don't think they have senior students even. Sir, mage ape උත්සවයක් තියෙනවා. මම අපි ගුරුතුමියට කිව්වා අපි ළමයි කණ්ඩායමක් හදාගන්න, ජාතික ගීය කියන්න, කණ්ඩායමට ජාතික ගීය පුහුණු කරන්න, පාසල් ගීයක් නැහැ. මොන හරි හින්ද ලස්සන තව සින්දුවක් එහෙම පුහුණු කරන්න, මේකට එනවා විශේෂ අමුත්‍යක් කියනවා, යා පිළිගන්න ගීත සකස් කරන්න, තව ඉන්න අයගෙන් උදව් ගන්න. So he was asking, which is very natural. And this dear teacher was telling the headmaster, and I said, Mama, sitar specialist. Mama gaayana igena gatthet naha. වෙනත් එකක් වාදනය කරන්න ඉගෙන ගත්තේ මට සිතාරනම් මම ඒ ස්පෙෂලිස්ට්. So he was asking me, "Itin sir, මම මේ පුංචි ඉස්කෝලේට සිතාර් එකට එක්කෙනා, තබ්ලාවට එක්කෙනා, ගායන කරන්න එක්කෙනා, වාදනය කරන්න එක්කෙනා මම කොහොමද කරන්නේ?" A real problematic situation. And fortunately, as I said, because I was in the process of, with the academics, developing the syllabus, I said, all three faculties, yeah, that was a difficult one because the visual faculty can't come to the music faculty, even students to see their girlfriends or activities because they have a, so that they have their territory. I said, no. First year should be, it's a 4-year one. First year should be general, should have everything, at least if the students don't like, that's a different one, should be open to everyone. Let's come to the specialization little later, because it is not only, what I told the academics, not only that you are teaching in the university to play the sitar, but you have to give a general education. Education doesn't mean only training, practice and action. So those are the things which we don't think much, but practically, theories are good, all theories are good, but practically these are the problems that we face. So I think, with all respect towards our speakers, when I was thinking while we were talking, I was thinking, yes, all these theories are good, but how can we put all this into practice? Now, all these theories, they are not unknown to us. We have heard. Even the stories of our Siyas and Mutlas, they are very, very informative. You know, they have a lot of things to learn when we remember now what they told us. Implicated in those. But how can we put them into practice? In order to conclude this my presentation, let me quote what had been said by Diarmaid MacKillop, who was a professor in Cambridge. He's a theologian also. I quote, "Humanities and social sciences have an important place in modern society. Students can gain skills that are attractive to employers, such as critiquing, analyzing, explaining, and challenging. Another point, I interrupt this quote because it came to my mind. I think there are many students from Catalonia. When I was the dean of the faculty, I started a system where children coming through arts, arts, selected people were allowed to do computer science. Right? You used to call it, I can't remember the term. Elective, it's an elective. Elective, so they can do 2 subjects and combination of subjects. No, not that. As a main subject, the 50 were given, allowed to do science subject, having done Sinhala, Buddhist, philosophy, logic and all that, but we said, can we send them to do a main subject. Science faculty followed. Those who enter in the bioscience also given the same program, separate. But they don't do maths, they don't do anything. So 50 from humanities and social sciences, 50 from biosciences. In the science faculty doing the computer science. You believe me or not, the first batch, the first 24 out of these 2 groups of 50-50, the 24, those who were there first, were the people from humanities and social science, who beat even the science. The records are there. exhibit. I continue my quote. Why are the humanities important? The answer is, they are the means of keeping our society sane. The science can tell us wonderful things about how to heal illness and cure for particular sorts of malaise. But it is the humanities and the social sciences that can talk about the malaise in society and explains the way in which human beings behave towards each other, which are not susceptible of being put into formulae or mathematical assemblage or theories. So, dear managers, human nature is mysterious thing, but we always have to, this is still a quote, but we always have to deal with it. If you do not have a healthy humanities and social sciences sector, mind you, your country will go mad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was a very interesting and lively discussion. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Namani Sirisoma, Dean Faculty of Management, Social Sciences and Humanities, to present a token of appreciation to the chair. That may I have the honor of inviting Professor Sarat Amalugama to the stage, please.